Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and I've got a couple stories for you in this latest hot jam, including this headline from the Daily Hodl, which is going to make you smile, else you must not have a damn soul, son. Here's the headline. XRP has great risk-reward ratio with 10x price rise likely, so says macro guru Raoul Pal. Now, he is a former Goldman Sachs I said that wrong. Former Goldman Sachs executive, and he also is the founder of Real Vision. He has a massive following, and deservedly so. Here you can see even on Twitter, he's got 643,000 followers. And so I want to run through what he had to say about this, and also, how about this headline? Can we talk a little bit about Tether? Well, of course we can, because it's my channel, damn it, and I do what I want, son. And so, actually, let me just start with this part. Just before I get out of the intro portion of the video here. Here is a headline from CNBC. This is from February 23rd this year. So over half a year ago. Cryptocurrency firms Tether and Bitfinex agree to pay $18.5 million fine to end New York probe. And what happened when that happened? The Bitcoin maxis rejoice. See the Tether FUD? It's nothing. There's nothing to see here. It's totally free and clear. And I was like, okay, look, I don't know for sure what's going to happen with Tether, but I said, not so damn fast, all right? Because the truth of the matter is this had to do specifically with New York. So Tether not available in New York, got it, okay, fine. What about all the other states? And also, what about the federal government? Does anybody remember me saying that back when this went down? I was like, I don't think this is all over. And I'm not saying specifically like with a certainty whether or not there's something horrendously going wrong behind the scenes. I have my concerns I've voiced on this channel. But even without taking an extremely strong position, I was like, I don't think that the saga of Tether is over here. And here's proof of it. Look at this new headline from CoinDesk. SEC hints at Tether probe in records request denial. And so let me just tell you, I'll tell you here at the intro of the video, it looks like the SEC is investigating Tether. Don't be surprised if there's an enforcement action brought against them. Gary Gensler has also made it very clear he's not a fan of stablecoins and has equated them to poker chips at a casino. Good old Gare Bear. Before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos, all up on the YouTubes, but just as a hobby, just for fun. It's fun to talk about crypto stuff, right? You and me, we got the same damn interests here. Let's be friends forever. Raoul Pal is saying that global payments asset XRP has a great risk-reward ratio despite a lawsuit filed by the United States Securities and Exchange Commission. In a new interview on Savvy Finance, the CEO of Real Vision and global macro investor shares why he remains bullish on the crypto asset. And here is a quote. And you'll see, by the way, as we go through this, some of what he's saying, it's some of the stuff that I've been saying on this channel for the longest damn time. So I'm glad I'm not the only individual that has come to some of these conclusions here. But here's what he said. Here's the first quote. XRP is a great risk reward. The lawsuit, we've seen every lawsuit, every single one has been fine. Everybody's actually cleared up after the event anyway, and these events were a while ago. BitMEX, that's happening. We're going to see all of these. So I think it's going to be a slap on the wrist that it could look like a security. There will be no admission of guilt on either side. There will be a payment of a fine, and then XRP is free to run. End quote. Ba-bam. The former Goldman Sachs executive, see, I said it right that time. Moon Lambo could do stuff. He says that also identifies factors that will help drive up the price of the coin. And here's another quote. And you're going to love this, guys. What's interesting about XRP is there is quite a lot of use cases. How about that? Now, I know the bunch of Bitcoin people hate it. It's not decentralized enough. I don't care. Are people using it? Yes, a lot more people than most realize. And what's amazing about this setup is you can't buy it on any of the exchanges, and it's not in the Bitwise ETF. And let me pause right there. To be clear, he's talking about the exchanges in the United States that have halted it. So in the United States, which is a major market, obviously, it's more difficult to buy that. And yes, it is true that the vast majority of trading it occurs outside of the United States. But still, even so, his point is not lost to me. Anyway, then he continues. The Bitwise ETF is now $1 billion of the Bitwise index. The top 10 index is $1 billion. So the moment XRP is free, they have to buy a few $100 million in it, as everybody else can because the exchanges will have it back. So you're setting up for a hell of a nice run if this clears up. And so there you go. That's the quote. And he's talking about institutional money ultimately flowing in as a result of all of this ultimately getting cleared up here. And so Paul says it's still worth betting on XRP despite the possibility of Ripple losing in its legal battle with regulators. And here's the final quote, and I love this one. Worst case, it doesn't. Worst case is, let's say, 50% downside. Best case is 10x from here. So I'll take a 50-to-1 risk reward for the next 3 to 6 months. And so look, he is on the XRP train for sure. Maybe the only part where I disagree is when he says best case 10x. Oof, I wouldn't say that's the best case. I'd say that's completely plausible, going 10x from roughly where it is today. But I don't. Look, it depends on how high Bitcoin goes, because Bitcoin leads the market. But if Bitcoin goes really, really, really high, can you imagine if it goes to like 150 or 200,000? And I don't know if it will. Like, I don't pretend to know. But what if it does? Because we see weird stuff in crypto, right? In terms of just crazy, crazy runs. So what if it does? Well, then only 10xx for XRP from here? That starts to seem like not that much pretty quickly, doesn't it? No, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I'd still love it from here. That's a ton of money. Fine, got it. Worth way more than what it is now. I'm just saying, if Bitcoin actually runs up that high, then, man, wouldn't you think XRP would go substantially higher, whether it's 20 or 30x? And I don't know. Like, I'm not making a price prediction. And so, again, definitely don't buy or sell anything because of what I'm saying here. I just think it's interesting to talk about, but when you're talking, because I know how the market cycle works, money typically starts at the top with Bitcoin, and then when people want to take profits, then the money comes out of Bitcoin, then it splinters off into other cryptos, including XRP. So the more that's at the top, starting with Bitcoin, the more will ultimately trickle on down to XRP and every other crypto, which is why I'm saying, if you're talking about 10x and he says best case scenario, I'm like, well, is it really though? It might, maybe. I'm not completely convinced. Either way, it's probably going to be looking pretty damn fantastic here. All right, into this next piece now. From CoinDesk, just the other day. SEC hints at Tether probe in records request denial. And I got to tell you, I am not surprised in the least, especially not under Gary Gensler's leadership. Really not surprised in the least that we're seeing this story. All right, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission may be investigating Tether and Tether Operations Limited, a Freedom of Information Act request found. The SEC said it would not release records around Tether because they were collected for enforcement purposes, according to a FOIA response the SEC sent to the New Republic staff writer, Jacob Silverman. And here's a quote. And I actually saw this too. I didn't pull up for this video, but I saw this on Twitter. And the guy, he shared a screen grab of what the SEC actually sent him. So this is a snippet from what he got back from them. We are withholding records that may be responsive to your request under 5 U.S.C. blah, blah, blah. This exemption protects from disclosure records compiled for law enforcement purposes, the release of which could reasonably be expected to interfere with enforcement activities. Whoa! How about that? So Bitcoin maxis were rejoicing in February, which didn't make any logical sense. But, they want the narrative that, hey, see, Tether's fine, nothing to see here. Bitcoin price is not pumped up because of Tether. And look, whether it is or isn't, I'm just saying their response didn't make sense based on what was happening in reality. Because in reality, I was like, guys, I don't know for sure what's going to happen, and I wasn't pretending to then, and I'm not now. But I'm just saying, you should be recognizing that every other state in the damn country could do the same thing that happened in New York. And then there's the concern about what can happen on a federal level, which would be even worse than that. And here you go. It does look like old Gare Bear, SEC Chair Gare Bear, It looks like he's got it going on. Looks like they're investigating Tether, and there could, as a result, end up being an enforcement action. Now, assuming all of this is 100% accurate, let me ask you, do you think it's more likely than not, or less likely that there will be an enforcement action given that they're investigated? Let's assume that this is accurate. It's really being investigated. This wasn't some sort of elaborate hoax or anything like that. If it's actually being investigated, do you think there's going to be an enforcement action, yes or no? Because for me, I would say it's more probable the answer is yes, in particular based on all of the nonsense that Gary Gensler's been stating. The way that he's running this thing, he wants to come down on exchanges, he wants to come down on stable coins, he wants to come down on ICOs, and not just that, every other company that operates in the blockchain space. So given that's the case, won't be surprised in the least to see this happening. And it's going to rock markets. If this happens, it's going to rock markets. You're going to see some serious panic selling. And it's not going to scare me. So if this happens, I'm going to wait to see where things bottom out. If prices are attractive enough, I'll jump in and buy more. I have a feel like this is something that could notably sway the market. And it doesn't mean it's going to happen anytime soon. It might not be this year. How long they can take multiple years to investigate stuff. So if this is going to happen, it could happen in the middle of the bear market years from now. Okay. So it could seriously we might not be thinking of them. One day we wake up, oh, scary news, market tanks. And if that happens, I might just back up the truck and scoop all of everyone's fear into I don't know, in a truck, but I'll buy a truck for this. I'll have a flatbed. And I'll just scoop everybody's fear into the back. I'll pay whatever they want because I know it's going to be low because they'll be panic selling. I'll buy their fear and then just drive on off with my flatbed truck with all of their fear in the back. That's what I'll do. But no, it's not going to scare me because I understand crypto isn't going away. So whatever happens here, however this shakes things up, whatever happens with Tether, even if Tether magically goes away, however violent it gets and however rocky it gets in terms of global crypto price action, I don't care. Not really, not in the scheme of things, because I'm a long-term thinker. I'm a long-term investor. And so however bad it gets, I'll just keep buying. And then if it goes lower after I buy, then I'll probably buy some more because this crypto's not going away. So anyway, that's just the way that I'm looking at it, though. I'll go ahead and wrap up here, but I would love to hear what you think about these topics. Very interesting stuff. I am not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.